So we'll start with Jai Radha Madhava, then we'll pick up a verse from Bhagavad Gita, which is very much connected with Damodar, Lila, and all these three pastimes. Vijayadashami / Damodar Lila / Deepavali, Lord Ramachandra coming back to Ayodhya, and also the Govardhan Puja pastime, and a little bit also Gita Jayanti, December, how it all connects together. What is our duty? What are we learning here? The common themes we see. So that's what we're going to learn. And we'll sing also a little bit of Bellamangal Thakur's Damodar Stuti, little bit. 1 minute. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Jama Sundara, Radha Jama Sundara De. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hari Om Tat Sat. Devam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraj Kajar Ashtottara Shata Srimati Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraj Kajar Ashtottara Shata Srimati Srimati Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनामय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्तवंत की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to assembly bodies. All glories to assembly bodies. All glories to assembly bodies. All glories, Shri Guru and Gauranga Prabhupada Jai. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtai Putre Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhanam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachara Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Panchachya Desta. Please mute your cell phones. Small kids, maybe reception. As long as they don't make noise, it's fine. So, we have October, November and December. Let us sing the Mangalacharan and then we'll start discussing. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langete girim yatkrupatamaham vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bhayevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo Ananta Gauda Vaishnava ki jai. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Aur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. So discussing yesterday in the Damodar program class, we'll connect as part 2 now. In the part 1, we discussed about Yasodamaya binding Krishna. And in order for one to come to that kind of consciousness, in order for us to bind Krishna in our hearts, capture Krishna in our hearts, we need to take shelter of the Lord. We need to surrender to the Supreme Lord. So, but we have a problem with that. We are not able to surrender or take shelter. So what is the problem? So that problem Sri Prabhupada explained in chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita. 2 problems Prabhupada is saying. It is called weakness of the heart. If any of you read, we are supposed to read in Damodar month 15 chapter every day without fail. That is one of the main chapter. 15 chapter, last verse number 20. Purport, last paragraph, if you look at the paragraph, Prabhupada clearly calling out, there's a problem, fundamental problem is there, it is called weakness of the heart. That weakness of the heart is divided into 2 categories. The first category is desiring to lord over the material nature. First, having a desire. Lording it over the material nature. Desire. That is the first problem, weakness in the heart. The second weakness is having excessive attachment and enjoyment spirit. First is desire and then continue to that, then over enjoying more than what is required for bodily maintenance. These are the 2 causes, weakness. Because of that, we are not ready to take shelter and surrender. So we are not able to capture Krishna. We are not able to feel that happiness. We are not able to see Krishna. These are the fundamental problems. How do you come out of that? If you go back to the chapter beginning, Prabhupada talks about solution. Always, whenever he puts a question, it's a problem, he gives solution as well. He is giving the solution that chapter 15 is divided into 2 sections. First section, 1 to 5, is removing the problem for these 2 weaknesses. So, especially 5th verse is the key verse. Nirmana moha jatasanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvande rumukte sukadukka sangne gacchanta muda padam avyam tat. So that's why Srila Prabhupada's books has to be studied scrutinizingly. I recommend all of you take Krishna book today. Any of you who doesn't have, this can be read along with your, children, family members, every day night. We all should read Krishna book. Ask them to put it outside. Make sure whoever doesn't have, please take it. Prabhupada makes a statement. I don't know, most of you might not have read that. You are supposed to read Prabhupada's books from beginning to end. Preface, introduction, everything. You can't leave anything. Because sometimes there are significant statements in these things. In the last chapter of 90 chapters and last chapter, super excellent pastimes of the Lord, in the end of Krishna book, Prabhupada reads, if one reads, just simply read the Krishna book pastimes every day, they can go home back to Godhead. They can develop attachment to the Lord. They can take shelter of the Lord. They will get purified. Just by taking shelter of Krishna book, reading every day. Naturally, one develops attachment. Prabhupada, see the Prabhupada emphasis. So it is very important. Prabhupada himself did that. In the afternoon or in the evening or in the night. In Vrindavan, in Bombay, in Vrindavan specifically and in LA, both places. In other places also. It's very important to know. If you are not reading that, please take it. I would recommend strongly that. Last chapter, look at the statement of Prabhupada. That is a thing. So, surrender, weakness of the heart. So in that 5th verse, Prabhupada is talking about weakness of the heart solution. Nirmana moha, the pride, false pride is the problem. If one has a false pride, he will not be able to surrender. This is because of the weakness. This is part one, which we did. Now we'll come to part two today. Damodar Lila has so many facets, so many angles of vision. You pick up each verse of 9th chapter, you get a different angle of vision, different layers. So as you mature, and it gives different understanding. We'll come to the part two. So the part two, so I was contemplating. So if you look at the October, November, December, you have Vijayadashmi, what it gives. And then we have Damodar month, Kartik month. So we are doing, it is like Lord Ramachandra gained victory, isn't it? And Deepavali also, we are lighting the lamps. And Damodar Lila also, every month, every day, we are lighting the lamps. What does it mean? And Lord Krishna is making this pastime, stealing the hearts of everyone. What does it mean? One aspect of it is called brightening the consciousness. Brightening the Govardhan Lila also showing the same thing. Brightening the consciousness. What is Govardhan means? Vardhana means what? Increasing. What is increasing? The pleasure. Pleasure of Krishna consciousness, pleasure of serving the Lord, serving the devotees, serving everyone with Krishna in the center. Giriraj Govardhan is also engaged. He is the best, topmost. Hantaya Madri Abala Haridasavaryo. He is the topmost. He is giving everything for the Lord, for Lord's pleasure. Beautiful verse. Gopis are singing. He is Haridasavaryo. So there also is showing the brightening the consciousness of each and every soul towards Krishna, serving Krishna, capturing Krishna in the heart. This is the first aspect. The consciousness leads to pay attention. Consciousness leads to compassion. Compassion leads to cooperation. These three things go. C cube. C, not square, C3. C three times. First is consciousness. If brightening consciousness is there, then compassion automatically comes. Compassion is there, then automatically comes what? Third, cooperation. What Prabhupada called it, we are not the owner. What we are? We are cooperators with the Lord, with the Lord's plan. We are not independent. If you want to take shelter of Krishna, surrender, that means we have to become cooperator. Where does it begin? Consciousness has to be brightened first. So the consciousness leads to pay attention. Again, I will lead. When you leave from this class, you should remember these three things. Consciousness leads to compassion, compassion leads to cooperation. Prabhupada, when he left leaving this planet, what is it? Cooperate. Yeah. If you love somebody, you will cooperate. The disagreement, argument is there when Krishna is not in the center. When we are in the center, we always argue. We don't come to conclusion at all. We fight. Because this is to do with the brightening consciousness, missing, lacking. That's why we are not able to understand. So the brightening consciousness leads to compassion. Compassion leads to cooperation. We will always cooperate. We'll also look at another angle, very important instruction. This is coming from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Shikshamrita. We'll look at the Damodar Lila's pastime, verse number, chapter 10, Canto 10, chapter 9, verse number. Yesterday we read 18. 19 and 20 we are going to look at, which gives two words, one line in each. Vritya Vasyata, how Lord himself became a servant, subservient of Yasodamai. In the 20th verse, he is talking about Harina Vritya Varsita in the 19th verse. In 20th verse, he is talking about Prasadam Lebire Gopi. Nobody could receive what Yasodamai received, the mercy. Not Brahma, not Shiva, not Lakshmi. No one could receive. What is so special about? This is called brightening the consciousness. And next, what consciousness leads to? Please awake, don't sleep. Consciousness leads to compassion. Compassion leads to cooperation. Yeah, please remember that. These three. So from these three, so when we read this, we will get into the more details. But one thing, for consciousness, we all know most of it. We all know, at least theoretically. Practice, whether it's doing or not, that's put on the side. That is the engaging in devotion. Everybody knows. Chanting, hearing, reading, every day we are hearing that. That is brightening the consciousness. That positive things we know. Then the compassion also has something along that line. But there's the underlying fact, there's a problem of the negative aspect. If you make one statement, it's not enough. If you say that, what is, in the morning, Prabhu was asking Bhakti Shastri, what is love of Krishna? What is Krishna Prema means? Most of you couldn't answer it. We think that love means Krishna jump towards Radha, and Krishna love means Krishna only. So that is missing. Something else is missing. We are not understanding what Rupa Goswami is giving in Nectar of Devotion. So that's a compassion, then from the consciousness, brightening comes, then the compassion. Compassion means it is missing, there is a problem. That problem is called avidya. That problem is stemming from the sinful activity. What is that sin? Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains, Prabhupada also explains. First we have to look at the consciousness is explained by Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains Jaiva Dharma. Prabhupada explains in Renunciation of Wisdom book. 5 types of consciousness. Just like yogis look at the 5 types of koshas, from pranamaya to annamaya to pranamaya to manomaya to vijnanamaya to anandamaya. So some of the yogis who are going to yoga, so at least you might know. And then that same relates to, Prabhupada talks about the consciousness. But we'll come to that. I think we haven't read Bhagavad Gita verse. So at least you had idea. From covered consciousness, Avruta Chetana to Sankucha Chetana to budding consciousness to blossoming consciousness to full blossoming consciousness. These are the 5 types of consciousness. But this is not happening right now. We are stuck in the 3rd level. Human being 3rd, 4th, 5th is for human beings. So we are stuck in the 1st level only. So that is the problem. What is the problem? It is avidya, ignorance. Where that is stemming from? Sin. What is sin? Can somebody explain? No one can explain like what Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained. No one can explain. Bhaktivinoda Thakur opened up everything. Same thing, the weakness of the heart, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also explained in terms of the anartha. Anartha has 4 categories. That itself is a separate class. That is also coming from sin only. But he explained as anartha as one topic. Here he is explaining in another topic as sin. Sin has 11 sub-branches. What is sin? Everybody should know, because positive, most of the times we are able to do. But every day we are hearing, we are not able to practice it. So that means there is some problem is there. Underlying problem is there. It is like the iceberg. Only little bit is shown on the top. Rest of the iceberg is in the ocean. So what is inside? What problem? What is the sin contains? What is called as sin? He talks about in great detail 11 aspects of it. And many of us may be performing some of these, knowingly or unknowingly. So we should be aware of it. He is talking about, before even Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, he is talking about the primary duties, secondary duties. In the secondary duties, he is talking about what is the duty, daily duty. In that secondary rules, he is talking about what is the daily duty, especially for Grihastha. He is talking about waking up in the morning and taking the clean bath, and then he's taking a food, prasadam, all those. He's talking about day-to-day activities. One should chant here, all those talking. And then he talks about this and what to avoid. This is talked about even by Narada Muni to Vyasadeva also. It's not in one place. Everywhere same problem is stressed. So Narada Muni to Vyasadeva, Narada Muni chastised Vyasadeva. What did he say? You diverted everybody else in so many ways. You didn't give the Krishna Prema. In terms of dharmartha, kama, moksha, you said you worship this God, you will get this benefit. So that's all you did. Vedas, Upanishad, and everything. So what is the problem? Then he said 1:7, verse number 4. Canto 1, chapter 7, verse number 4. Yaya sammohito jiva atmana trigunatmakam. Atmana trigunatmakam. You are bewildered. Living entity jiva is bewildered by your writing like this. Atmana Trigunatma, Sattva Rajas Tamo Guna. That's why you can't wake up, you can't chant, you can't hear, you can't take shelter of the Lord, you can't take darshan of the Lord. Somehow or other, you're bound by the shackles day after day. So this is samoha, bewilderment. So this is the Vyasadeva also. Then what is the solution? Immediately solution is given. Anartha upasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adokshade lokas sajhanato chakre sattvasam. You should take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then your anarthas will be kicked out. So the next verse also, what is that bhakti yoga adokshade? Hearing is the topmost process. But most of the time we take lightly. Hearing means, 1 year we'll put it. Or we'll mute and we'll, as though we are telling somebody else, yeah, I joined. But where you are in somewhere, Bombay or somewhere. Your heart is not there. So this is the fundamental problem. So that's why it is mentioned, taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam completely with heart and soul. That's why it's mentioned, Yasyam vai sruyamananam Krishne paramapurushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsam soka moha bhayabha. The illusion, lamentation, fear will go away. When you take shelter of the hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam in the proper association, you read at home also, but proper association. So everywhere the solution, problem and solution is given. In Kunti Maharani is also telling the same thing, avidya, ignorance, root cause of sin. What verse? Canto 1, chapter 8, Kunti Maharani prayers, verse number 35, 36, isn't it? Bhave shin klishya manana, bhave. We are here in this meeting. Avidya kama karma bhi. Avidya. Kama karma bhi. That means sinful activity. Root cause of ignorance is sin. Avidya kama karma bhi. Sravana smarana arhani karishye iti kechana. How do you get out of it then? Sravana, you have to hear. Smarana, you have to remember. And then arhani means worship. This is always, I always draw the conclusion. Krishna's teaching is equal to Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching is equal to Prabhupada's teachings. There is no difference. You can make it point clearly. Sravana, Smarana, Arhani, Karishya iti kechana. You go back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching to Kurma, Brahmana and others. When he traveled to Vrindavan also, he talked to Vrindavan was different devotees. When he went to Advaita Acharya's Prabhu's place, Shantipur, all the devotees, all different types of people came to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There also is instruction. Krishna Seva, Krishna Aradhana, Nirantara Krishna Nama Kare. He said the same thing. Worship Krishna, serve Krishna, and serve devotees. Coming to the same point. This is the positive side, but negative side also we have to know. So, now go back. Why did he said three things? You have to remember, because I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to wake you up. I hope that tomorrow onwards you pay attention to these three things and follow through. So, because that is what Prabhupada has given us. We have to pay attention to these serious details. First is brightening consciousness. What it will lead to? Compassion. Then what will lead to? Cooperation. So what we are supposed to do? This is to do with the children also. Same thing. If we ourselves act properly, in our life, not that, I will drop my kids and I will go and do my things. My kids need to learn slokas, learn some things. But what about you? If you don't act, the kid is not going to pick up so much. He is learning. So that's why we have to act too. So then it makes much more sense. Then he will pick up too. Its responsibility is to parent and then child. Everywhere it is mentioned. Janani na sasyat, pita na sasyat, guru na sasyat, na mochaye samupetam mrityum. If you can't deliver your dependent, don't become father, don't become mother, don't become guardian, don't become teacher, don't become guru. Shastra is very clear about it. But most of the people are not aware of it. So that's why we have to make those statements so that at least everybody is aware. Then what do we do about it? It's up to you. No one can force. Guru is not forcing, Krishna cannot force, Prabhupada cannot force, no one can force. Devotee is not going to force. You can only tell what is there in the Shastra. It is up to each one of you to take it or not leave it. Because if Krishna is going to force, we will be here. We will be there doing Krishna service. That is not love. It is force. One day you will do, second day you leave it. You have to realize yourself. You have to do with love. That means you have to be convinced. You have to be convinced. That means you have to know the facts. You can't do just theoretically, monotonously as a duty. And somebody said so, I will do it. You can't carry on with much love. You can't increase brightening or consciousness. It can't be increased. So that's why we have to act properly. So then children will act. If you brighten children's consciousness in the beginning itself properly, then naturally they will have compassion too. They will share everything with others. They will not fight. They will not argue. They will cooperate too with parents too. First, you parent cooperates each other and with others, elders, superiors, then naturally children will do too. If we ourselves don't do, then children will follow the same thing. Yeah? Yes? We see in today's world, that's what's going on, everywhere fighting, bickering. And because of this only, natural brightening consciousness is missing, naturally compassion is missing, then naturally cooperation is missing everywhere. Even in organizations also, same problem. That's why Prabhupada had to leave with this statement only. Cooperation, because it is the problem with the brightening consciousness missing, and then problem with the compassion missing. We are interested in ourselves only. We are not interested to give it to others. We are always me. I have to go back home, back to God. What about others? You have received so much mercy. What are you doing about it? At least share with your family, share with somebody, friend or somebody. And this is what compassion begins with somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Then naturally you will cooperate. So when you are compassionate, then naturally you will develop cooperation. So see that where it's going? Yeah. So this is what these 3 October, November, December festival. If you look at, if you ask somebody, ask you what is about significance of Vijayadashmi, Dasara, or Diwali, why do you light the lamps? Yes, we light the lamps to brighten our consciousness. Understand that it is to do with Lord Ramachandra, service to Lord Ramachandra, service to Lord Krishna through Acharya Parampara. Yes, then we can brighten our consciousness. Otherwise, it's not possible. So this we talked about the philosophy, so let us look at, because we always have to go by the verses. We can talk all along, but without reference, no value. It's not going to transform me or not transform any of you. Heart only transforms if you are representing Parampara, Acharya, there should be reference. So we'll refer Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse number 54. Anybody knows that verse? 55, anybody knows? 55 is very famous verse. Yeah, mat karma krun, mat paramo, mat bhakta sangha varja nirvaira sarva bhutesh yassa mamed. That is 55th verse. One verse before is also very important verse. Anybody knows? Bhaktyatu ananyaya sakya. Clearly point is made. Bhaktyatu ananyaya sakya. It is only possible to take shelter. If you want to capture Krishna, if you want to brighten your consciousness, it can only be possible by bhakti. It is not possible by anything else. Bhaktyatu ananya sakya aham eva vido. What is that verse? Second line. Yeah, aham eva vido Arjuna gnatum drastum tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. If you engage in bhakti, bhaktyatu ananyaya sakya. If you perform bhakti, then what will happen? Aham eva vido Arjuna. Vido means, vidhi means know. O Arjuna, you will know exactly who I am. I am standing in front of you. You will know me as I am. I am a supreme personality of Godhead. My position, my energy, Jiva Shakti, Jiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, so everything, Bhava Tattva, Guru Tattva, Shiva Tattva, every Tattva. Krishna is not alone. Krishna is always with everyone. So many. All these things we will understand. Aham eva vido Arjuna. I am standing in front. You will know me exactly, completely about me. Only when, if you perform bhaktyatu ananyaya, that means no other thing, no tinge of karma, gnana, mixture. It's a gradual process, of course, but at least theoretically we should know that if you want to take shelter of Krishna, how it is possible. How can you capture Krishna? You need to know. So, bhaktyatu ananya sakya, aham vido Arjuna, then gnanam drastum cha tattvena. Tattvena means with philosophical understanding, you will be fully convinced with this gnana. Drastum, you will see me as I am. Then you will enter into my abode. Praveshtum cha parantapa. Praveshtum, you will enter into my abode. Then it is possible. Then is going to, how is it possible? Then what you are supposed to, what is this Bhakti Ananya? Then is quoting 55th verse. Always, remember this. In Bhagavad Gita, if you are reading, if you are not paying attention to the first verse purport, last verse purport, you are missing big time. You are missing big time. Purports are very crisp, on the dot. If you read that, you pay attention to those two, first and last verse, it's amazing details, every chapter. You read yourself, you will know what I'm talking about. So then you make a note of those points and understand it, try to reflect and try to put in practice. Then our lives will be successful. If we miss those points, then it has become difficult. We don't know. We practice Krishna consciousness, but it is so much about Bahiranga, external. Internal is not going in. We are, bouncing back. So repulsion is coming. As it says, raga and dvesha. So attachment, over-attachment, repulsion, dvesha. So that's why there is no compassion and no cooperation because of this. This is Bhagavad Gita verse. Now this, because I am picked up this verse because it is connected. Philosophy foundation is always in Bhagavad Gita. You can't go wrong from it. Then you look at now the verse I was talking about, 10th canto, but before that, let's absorb on Damodar, okay? So that is very important. That we can't forget. Our baby Krishna is very attractive, very charming. Our Shri Radha Shyam Sundar and Shri Radha Damodar is there in the front. We can't miss it. His beautiful, charming pastimes. Let us sing. At least you sing the last line, okay? Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. That you repeat, okay? You sleep with that line, you wake up with this line every day, at least next, until November 15th, until Damodar month. It will help you to be brightly conscious, at least this month, and hopefully till the end of the year and continue your life. So let us do that. Uttaya Gopya Apararatra Bhoge. This is verse number 16. There is 72 verses. Presentation is not working. I'm not a presentation guy. I'm a simple guy. I follow what Prabhupada has given. Prabhupada didn't use any presentation. I just simply want to follow that. I never generally use presentation. I have not done it. Neither I am capable of it. So don't ask me presentations. So this is Bilav Mangal Thakur's 72 verses. Out of that, 16th verse I'm picking up because yesterday we read till 15. Uttaya Gopyo Apararatra Bhoge Smrutma Yashoda Sudabala Kelim Gayanti Procher Dadimantayantyo Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Jagdo Atadatto Navanita Pindo. So verse number 17. Gruhe Yashoda Vichikitsayanti Uvacha Satyam Vadahe Murare Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Verse number 18. I will share it. I will tell you. I have the file. I can share it if you need it. I'll send an email if you need. But it is there in the Google. Abhyachageham yuvati pravruddha prema pramaha dadi nirmamanta gayanti gopyo atasaki sameta Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. We'll pick up 2 more verses and then we'll continue. Kvachit prabhate dadipurna patre nikshipyamantam yuvati mukundam alokya ganam vividam karoti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Verse number 20. With that, we'll complete this particular. We'll pick up only a few verses. Krida param bojana majjanardam hitaisini stri tanujam yashoda ajuhavat prema pari plutakshi Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Wow, 7:15 already. Let us quickly look at translation. 17. I think we started from 16. It is related to the same Damodara pastime only. Luckily, interestingly. Having arisen early in the Brahma Muhurta and remembering the childish activities of son of mother Yashoda. Who is that? Or blue boy, small blue boy, Krishna. The gopis loudly sing while churning butter. Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. The gopis are singing. Verse number 17. Having churned and then set aside a fresh lump of butter in the house, Mother Yashoda was now suspicious. They had been eaten. Have you become suspicious of your child? Eating sometimes, going and grabbing some sweets or something you are trying to offer to the Lord and they are grabbing, it's okay. Don't scold them too much. Once in a while is okay. When they are small, it's okay. They don't know. So Lord also is okay with that. So yeah, don't scold too much. So it won't be good. So he said, having churned and then set aside a fresh lump of butter in the house, Mother Yashoda was now suspicious. It had been eaten. She said, hey, Murari, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, now tell me the truth. Kids are going to tell the truth? No. The same thing here. Having finished worship at home, a young gopi, like a strong current of love for Krishna, churned the butter and then joins together with all the gopis and their friends and they sing, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. Same way. So, always, for kids, it's very important to have a proper association with other kids who can brighten their consciousness. Same thing with us also. We should always together. Alone business is not so good. Always we should go together. Nicely sing and chant and dance and feast. It's very nice. It can help us to brighten our consciousness. As here, gopis are going together. So, Yashoda Maya and gopis together. It's very nice. One time early in the morning, just as a girl had put aside her churn in a pot full of butter, she saw Mukunda. She then began to sing songs in various ways about Govinda, Damodara and Madhava. Verse number 20. Without having even bathed or eaten, Krishna was absorbed in play. Many of the kids do that. Whole day they will play, they will not eat. Many of the kids do that. So, isn't it interesting? Yes. So, overwhelmed with affection, it's okay when they are child. We try, but what to do? So, Mother Yashoda, who thought only of her son's welfare, called out, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, come, take your bath and eat something. So, in this way, we understand. Beautiful verses, all 72 are gems, because this is written by extraordinary devotee, Bellamangal Thakur, who is filled with intense devotion, grief for Lord Krishna. Now, let us look. Somehow sound is going on and off. Verse number, so 10th canto, chapter 9, verse number 19 and 20. So the 19 tells, please correct, sometimes I forget. So, okay, so please open that. So, evam sandarshayan, I'm forgetting. I think it's verse number 19. Or maybe we'll come to 20, hopefully I'll remember. Na emam virincho na bhavo, na bhavo. Then anga samshrayan gopi, sanga samshrayan. Yeah, na srir anga samshraya. Because it is na emam, that means this particular becoming harina bhrutya vatsita in the previous verse, Lord is not becoming a subservient of anyone, especially neither Brahma nor Shiva, na emam, that means this particular becoming a servant. Na virincho, that means Lord Brahma, na Shiva. Na Sri, Sri means Lakshmi Devi, because she is Anga Samshraya, that means Anga means half of the body belongs to the Lord. So even though she is better half, but still she also didn't get this. Prasadam lebire gopi, only one gopi got it. Prasadam, the mercy of the Lord. Prasadam lebire gopi, tat prapya vimuktidat. What is this vimukti? You just said this dharmartha kama moksha is secondary, Krishna prema. Prema bhakti is the primary. Then what is this vimukti? You are talking about vimukti. No, Prabhupada explains. Here vimukti means it is Krishna prema. Special mukti, beyond the 5 kinds of liberation. Sayujya, not Sayujya, of course, for sure, for devotees. That is impersonal. Merging and falling down and opening a hospital, that is related to the impersonal aspect. But other liberation, some go for it. It is Sarishti, Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya. Same form as the Lord, 400 form, or same planet as the Lord, or nearby to the Lord, same opulence is the Lord. All these are 4 opulences, 4 kinds of liberation. But devotee is not interested generally. So Krishna Prema they are interested. So Vimukti means special mukti. Who has been given? Gopi. Because she is a Nitya Siddha Bhakta. If one practices under the guidance of Yashoda, under the guidance of Arjuna, under the guidance of a trained expert devotee, Srila Prabhupada, under the footsteps of a Acharya Parampara, then one can come to the, we can take their positions, but we can come to the pure devotion. So Bhaktyatu Ananya Sakya, that's why Lord mentioned. What is that? Mat Karma Kran. engage in your activity. Mat bhakta, become my devotee. Sangha varjita, give up unwanted association. Nirvaira, don't be envious, that means there's compassion. Don't, so cooperation. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu, not just you and your friends. Sarva bhuteshu. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. Yassa mameti pandav. So that is very well connected here. So here is told that Yashodamai, how much she is able to. Harina bhrutya vasyata. Even though Lord is not, Lord himself is self-satisfied, he is not. And what is the verse number 19, please? First line, I'm forgetting. Evam sandarshrita, last after. Harina bhrutya vasyata. Swavasenapi Krishnena yasyedam sa iswaram vase. What it means? That even though Krishna is not servant of, he doesn't become controlled by anyone. Swavasena Krishna. He himself is happy by himself. So he is not controlled by anyone. No one can control him. He is independent. Swarat. So it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, first verse. And the last line says also, even the big demigods, they can't control Krishna. But here, but he's been controlled here. Harina Bhritya Vatsita. That personality, supreme personality of Godhead, becoming a Damodar, baby Krishna, and being controlled by Yashodamai. Why is that? Because of the brightening consciousness. The consciousness is so bright. That means Krishna is in the center, left, right, center, from morning all the way, from waking up to sleeping, always thinking about my Lala. What I'm going to feed, how I'm going to dress, what ornaments I'm going to put. Always consciously thinking about him only, not thinking about anyone else. She's fully very cognizant and conscious. This is what brightening consciousness means. So, for us, practical application means then we have to at least, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving. That's why Prabhupada has established this process like this in temples. The 24 hours is divided into the 3 hours, multiplied by 8 praharanas. 2 praharanas is for sleep, 6 to 8 hours. And the rest of the time, morning time, first praharana is to wake up and do the chanting and hearing. So that's why Prabhupada established Mangalarati is there from 4:30. That's why, because that praharana starts from 3 o'clock. 3 to 6 is one praharana, 6 to 9 is another praharana. So each praharana is a specific duties to be done by especially a human being. Especially if one is Grihastha, specifically, even more so. So everywhere is there. In 7th canto, 15th chapter, ideal Grihastha life, there also Prahlad Maharaj is talking about it. We are seeing in many other places, Prabhupada books only. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of course, is talking in Chaitanya Sikshamrita. So about it. It's very important, especially. Morning time is meant for that purpose, especially from 3 to 6, 3 to 8. Before we go to office, we should spend our time waking up and chanting and hearing. These two processes we cannot avoid. If we don't, then our consciousness is even more weak. Weakness of the heart is there. We won't be able to give up. We won't be able to tolerate. We won't be able to respond to the situation properly. It will become misconduct. It will call, what is another place? Isopanishad. Anybody read Isopanishad? What is sin is defined as? Sin. Sin is defined as, first only, in the beginning of Isopanishad. That's why we have to read Prabhupada books routinizing. There it's called deliberate disobedience is called sin. Root of ignorance, root of sin, what is deliberate disobedience? Deliberate. Knowingly. Deliberate disobedience. So we have to be conscious. Then knowing that means I have to do something. I have to work on it myself. I have to stop my mind wrangling here, there, so many different directions, even though I know things, what I'm supposed to do. Again and again, I'm falling in the same trap. So then we should know. So what we should set, how to set the goals. Let my mind not capture my consciousness. Rather, consciousness has to be subdue the mind. In the 3rd chapter, that's why after explaining karma yoga, one should perform karma. Duty has to be performed. You have to take care of family, you have to do your office duty. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also did that as Grihastha, 16 children. And he himself did that like that, exact same practice. He want to show us so how to practice the ideal Grihastha life. So he never said, Krishna never said, give up your family, go to forest. That so-called people are telling. Well, Krishna is not telling. Arjuna, all Grihasthas only. Pandavas are all Grihasthas only. They are also doing their job, Kshatriyas. So we may be IT workers, or we may be doctors or business people. So we have to do our duty, but with what center, with what consciousness we do, that is very important. So Krishna is not telling you give up. People have this kind of false kind of idea. If I put my Bhagavad Gita at home, oh, something is going to happen. Something is going to happen. Krishna is going to steal my property, as though Krishna doesn't have anything. Or Krishna is going to do something with me. So all kind of funny ideas people have. Krishna is telling chapter by chapter clearly what Baba you supposed to do. Please do this. I'm waiting for you and you are running away from me. That's why I'm stealing all this butter and yogurt. Otherwise, what business I got here? Coming and performing these pastimes. I'm performing anyway in spiritual world. I'm coming here and performing for you only. To attract your mind, to capture your heart. You are Yaya Sammohita Jiva. Please don't become bewildered with my external energy. You bewilder with my activities, my form, my holy name, my qualities, my pastimes. Please. That's what Krishna is requesting. So that is the point here Krishna is making as well here. In this 19th and 20th verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 9, Yashoda binding Krishna in the 10th canto. Now, only 5 minutes is there. So we have to look at now the negative aspect we have to look at. Deliberate disobedience we have come to. That is sin. We have defined sin in different ways, but it's all boiling to the same thing. It has 11 cardinal principles. Pay attention, okay? Pay attention. 11 cardinal principles of sin. First one is violence. Violence. Violence has also different categories. Man, so animals, and devas. And next one is cruelty. So next one is hypocrisy. So violence also we should know. Violence is of 3 sorts against man, animal, and devas. To kill another living being is called violence, because that's where compassion is missing. That's where cooperation is missing. We have to know this principle very clearly. It arises from hatred attachment to an object is called raga, and repulsion to an object is called dvesha. We all have these tendencies in our heart. So, I'm speaking, I also have this. Don't think that I'm only speaking to you. It is also, these are lessons for me as well. It is for all of us. Prabhupada is teaching. Acharya, Lord is teaching through parampara to awaken our consciousness. So, we're all learning. If you're not learning, means something is missing. We have to learn always. Every day we have to learn till our last breath. So, then only we can brighten our consciousness. In practice as well. So the raga and dvesha, permitted attachment is considered beneficial. Permitted attachment is fine. That means your attachment to your children, car, permitted to the extent it needs. Anything more, problem. So that we have to know, permitted attachment. But unauthorized attachment is called lust. This is also mentioned. Avirodha yukta priti and virodha yukta krodha. If you read Prabhupada's books, everything, some people have make statement, yeah, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said this and Prabhupada didn't give this. And if you read Prabhupada's books, you will not say that, because everything is there. You may not find exact statements, the whole paragraph in a book, but Prabhupada has given all these things. Prabhupada already mentioned in his Upanishad, I think. Avirodha yukta priti, virodha yukta krodha. Same thing Prabhupada is talking about. I think first verse purport or the introduction, Prabhupada is making these statements. Read. You have to know in and out. Prabhupada said these are the law books for 10,000 years. That means you have to know the books. Then only you say that I know Bhagavad Gita. You can't say it. First you better read it. Not knowing the verse is not so important. Knowing what is the essence. What are we practicing it? That is so important. Next is permitted repulsion is considered a punya, while unlawful repulsion is sin. The root of violence and hatred in society, people must treat others with affection. Only the person involved in sin shows violence. See that point? It's a very important point. So violence to the devas is also serious sin. Men in different countries have different methods of worship. The purpose is to gradually bring the person worship the Supreme Lord. The cruelty. Cruelty may be directed toward human beings or animals. If a person acts cruelly towards other men, he creates a disturbance to the whole world. See that? So today, every day, things are cruel to animals especially. Putting them in a constrained places and doing what not. What to speak of those. This is all cruelty. Hypocrisy. This is a big problem in, especially being a Vaishnava. Hypocrisy means the double standard or saying something and doing something else. This is also very bad. Hypocrisy is a sin. When a person acts deceitfully towards another by habit or with self-interest, it is called crooked dealing. When this deceitful nature becomes extreme, it becomes cruelty. A person who is very attached to this is a pretender. Then mental illusion, the fourth one. Illusion is of four types. Intoxication, this is the big problem, intoxication. Being possessed by the six enemies, lust, anger, greed, envy, all that. Then atheism and laziness. Even the laziness is called sin. Then lying. Falsehood, the fifth one. Falsehood consists of verbal lies, cheating religion, cheating conduct, and prejudice. Lying is forbidden, and to tell a lie under oath is even more serious. So that is also sin. Disrespect. And this is all very important. That's why if you have respected properly your parent, you will get proper mercy. That also understand it. If you have disrespected your parent, you will have to suffer the consequences for sure. Don't think that you can get away from it. Doesn't matter how much money you have, which is a very bad thing. So that we have to realize it. So even though they may say many things, but you have to, be happy and, let them be happy and you happy. You may not take everything in the heart, but you leave at it, No need to react so much things, So there should be a proper respect, however the situation may be, with parents especially. Disrespect is also sin. Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai. We'll stop in a minute. Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Maharaj, Shri Sudarshan, Panchatattva ki jai, Shri ki jai, Vaishnava ki jai. So disrespect to elders has three objects: parents, teachers, and other superiors. We'll stop in 2 minutes. Lust is the next category. Lust manifests itself in relation to money, women, and position. Next category is selfishness. That's why compassion, cooperation, where would it come? If we are always thinking about me, I want to go back home, back to God, I want to get prasadam, I want to be liberated, I want, this I want only is killing everything. So that selfishness has to be, we have to come out of it. We may have it, but we have to come out of it. That is also sin. We have never heard of it. This Acharya is giving, 7th Goswami is giving means this has a great importance. One has to pay attention. Impurity. Impurities are two types, bodily and mental. That's why we have to clean ourselves. Take bath 2 times at least. No need to take 3 times. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Grihastha, if you are in the modern day world, you don't need to eat late night. You don't need to do 3 times bath. Not required. Bhaktivinoda, at least try to take 2 times bath. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing. Compassionately. Conduct. These last two also very important. Conduct. Improper conduct is also another sin. Disregard the conduct that has been delineated by saintly people and take up the conduct of foreigners is improper conduct. Those when by associating with foreigners for a time, give up the pure rules of varnashrama in favor of freedom from rules become fallen, acting against the perfect scientific rules of conduct. So it's very important to know this proper conduct has to be there. That's why seriousness, submissiveness, Prabhupada is making clear point. Every verse, secret of success, chant here. But along with it, what is saying? Seriousness and submissiveness. That means proper conduct has to be there. If you want to receive mercy from a sadhu, from Prabhupada, from Acharya Parampara, proper conduct has to be there. If that is not there, you can't expect. You can chant hundreds of rounds, but it doesn't attract the full mercy. You will get some mercy for sure, of course, you are trying. But if you want full mercy, then you have better proper conduct with a Vaishnava, with a sadhu, especially with Srila Prabhupada caliber and Prabhupada disciples. You have to be little focus on that. And destructive actions, this is the last one. With that, we'll stop. There are 5 types of activities that are destructive to the world: opposition to good works, false renunciation, preaching irreligion in the name of God. So many things going on today. Unjust war and waste. By creating obstacles directly or indirectly to those who are engaged in beneficial work, the whole world suffers. In this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this in Chaitanya Sikshamrita. On Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, there are 10 kind of books. This is one of the books written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Prabhupada has given most of the important things Prabhupada has already given in different places. So if you read Prabhupada's books, you will get everything. So I want to make that concise. What is sin means, we understand. And then we try to avoid this. So, because negative things, everywhere negative things we need to know. Sometimes we question, positive, I know, about Krishna, I know. But what is causing, why we are not able to do it? That means there is something negative which is dragging me down. So what is that negative thing? We need to know. That's why we discussed about sin. So, pay attention, where we have to pay attention. Yeah? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Gandhara, Srimad, Bhagavatam ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for patiently listening. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. If you have questions, Prabhupada ki jai, who has given all these books and everything. I'm only contemplating, I'm praying. I prayed to Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada.